No, if it was French, you wouldn't be able to understand it. It would be just all vowels.
Oh, you beauty! Decision. I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
That's the Gorgu jersey?
Yeah, Gorku.
Gorku? Brother, he was a phenom in FIFA. I like even when he went to, was it Lyon? No. Yeah, Lyon.
He started at Lyon. He started at Bordeaux.
I was going to say, I thought he was a Bordeaux product.
He was a Bordeaux product, but the second he hit Lyon, not so great. But that's the beauty of FIFA. Just like Fernando Torres, that guy was still the best striker in the game.
Was a stud.
Oh, yeah. I was tossing in goals from half against West Ham and Kyle. Best time of my life with Torres.
There was like those certain players that aren't good in real life that are just FIFA studs. Well, I guess it's FC now, but they're just FIFA studs. Gorku was definitely one of them.
He was one of them for sure. Also, before we truly get started, check this out.
That is dirty.
Yeah, but I'm getting rave reviews. What do you think?
You know what? It actually works. I don't know if it's the French face.
I appreciate it.
It's a little.
I keep getting told.
Yeah, it's a little Cary Grant. Not Cary Grant. Who's the guy from Gone with the Wind? Yeah, I know. We got to call Grandma.
How did you steal the words out of my mouth? Gone with the Wind.
Did you watch any of the Champions League?
I didn't get an opportunity to watch them all. But again, I think it's kind of along the same lines as we were talking about before. Like, not unexpected. Maybe other than that Arsenal game.
I was gonna say your predictions didn't come out all that great.
Oh, and that's what I love about doing stuff like this is because you say something and then the opposite constantly happens.
But we called it though. We called it. Don't put your final parlay bet on Arsenal because they'll fuck you over. And I watched. Who was the other game that day? Oh, Napoli-Barcelona. I was watching that one. I was more interested in that, which was all right. And I switched it over because it finished first. 93rd minute, so third minute of 4 minutes of extra time, and Porto just slams one in, just rockets it. Beautiful.
Classic, but that was at home for them, right?
That was in Portugal.
So you gotta do it for the home team.
You do, and I told you, that's what I said. Like the heat, I think. I don't know if it's hot in Portugal, but it's definitely not London weather. They're probably not used to it.
Yeah, you did say that, and Arsenal's very prone to any sort of change. They're not so great. Imagine them playing in snow in Stoke on a Tuesday. Not so great.
Pele was overrated. Never did it on a cold night in Stoke.
100%. Messi, potentially overrated. Never did it on a cold night in Stoke.
Barcelona's nicer weather than Middlesbrough.
Definitely, and Newcastle too.
Yeah, could you imagine? They'll make a play for him. When when the Saudis bought it, and then you started seeing all those memes of all the superstar soccer players saying, "Well, it's always been my dream to play for Newcastle United."
Yeah, oh, totally. They had the little meme too of Mbappe being like, "Yeah, I've grown up watching Newcastle." It's like, no, you didn't.
Is he going to Madrid?
Yeah.
Is it confirmed? Hold on, is it confirmed, or is this going to be a Hector Bellerin situation where every year it's he's going to Barcelona, he's going to Barcelona? I mean, I'm not comparing Mbappe to Bellerin, but you just remember that it was every year,
every single year. I think I read enough sources. I think it's true.
No, he's denying it now.
Oh well. God damn it!
But I think it's from the that's from the Hindu Times. I don't know if I trust that.
Yeah, honestly, I must be reading my incorrect sources. But I thought it was a done deal.
The thing though is, and I was looking at it the other day, is how many people they've lost, like true superstars, they've lost on a free, and they still haven't gotten that Champions League glory, which is all they're chasing. Because let's face it, the French league is non c'est bon.
No, c'est bon. And PSG too, like you're saying, when they constantly lose the superstars, and you're trying to sell the team as being superstars, it's really tough to be able to maintain people when it's like, oh yeah, you can play with Messi and Neymar. Oh wait, they're gone. Oh wait, you can play with Mbappe. He's looking to leave. So I think there's a big challenge and the league too. What a joke.
Yeah, they're 23 games played, 54 points. They're in first. The next closest is 43, so they're 11 points up. And the next closest is, interestingly enough, Brest.
That's something interesting about the French league the last couple of years. Lens, Brest, and a couple other teams have made a little bit of a run of it. You think of Stade Rennais previously too?
They did.
They're all pushing.
Didn't Lille, Jonathan David's team, didn't Lille win last year? Or was it 2 years ago? But they were comparing it to the Leicester season.
Yeah, just having an absolutely magical season.
Yeah, I can't find it here. When's the last time they won?
Well, and it's interesting too because Lille has gone through a couple of ups and downs. Like when Hazard played for them, they won the league that year.
He was something else, man. That like on his day, you see some footballers who played with him say they'd pick him over Ronaldo.
And don't get me started on this conversation about Belgium, because you know my thoughts on Belgium. Where was he the entire time? He played so well for Chelsea, played so well for Lille. Semi-finals against France in 2018. What happened? Oh wait. Chalk it up for the French.
Some players they can't show up internationally. I mean, you're right. Eden Hazard, and his brother Thorgan, but Eden for sure. Premier League streets won't forget that Chelsea version of him when he was in his prime. Have you seen the story from John Terry talking about when they were playing West Ham? And John Terry goes, he didn't care about tactics or anything. He's like, we go into the halftime, and I think we were tied, and we start talking about tactics. He goes, who are we playing? It's what he did. Like he didn't even do his research or homework on it. He goes, it's West Ham. Who do they have? Just give me the ball, and then he goes out and scores like 2 or 3 goals, and they end up winning. But you're right.
I didn't hear the exact story, but I have heard that about him, where he showed up to practice, didn't perform, but he's just like, give me the ball in a game. Chelsea, weave through people, score a top shelf goal.
Some players can just turn it on and they don't have to. We were talking about that last time with the managers. The ones that kind of have that ability don't always make the best managers because they can't translate that to somebody who doesn't have that ability or that natural skill.
Yeah, or we even talked about last time too the Brazilian contingent, the Ronaldos, the Ronaldinhos. Those guys, biggest partiers. They just love to drink, but then you give them the ball in the game. In a Champions League semifinal, they'll win you the game.
They said that about Ronaldinho when he made the move to Barcelona. So we're still in prime Ronaldinho, but he started partying when he hit Barcelona when he first got there, and he was still unstoppable and the best in the world at one point. It was only just because of his age when he got to AC Milan, and he was a little bit older. You can't do it, but there was, he used to show up to training from the club. He would roll up from the club.
Yeah. Which is incredible.
But getting back, so Hazard didn't show up for Belgium. I mean, yes and no, but you're right. You look at players, the England squad, Lampard and Gerrard and who else? Like they were just phenomenal in the league. But then when they put that 3 Lions jersey on, useless. They never amounted to anything.
Well, it's a little bit of a different story there because English football, especially at that time, they still all hated each other.
Isn't that why Gerrard never wanted to be the captain of England? Because he just didn't like anybody? That could be pure conjecture.
But no, I can't confirm that. But that's what I think too. You have someone like John Terry who just bangs his teammate's wife, who's like, yeah, sure, I'll be the captain of England.
Wayne Bridges.
But, Wayne Bridges. But that England team was such a mess, and the fact that they were able to make a little bit of something out of it, incredible. For what, 2, 3 World Cups?
They missed out on. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'm so bored and tired of England internationally. Like, how many golden generations have they had, and none of them really pan out? Maybe this one, but I doubt it.
Oh, we've again, like you said, we've heard that before. 2006, that was supposed to be a golden generation. Every World Cup since then, golden generation.
Every
I'm gonna raise a little bit of fluff here, but if Cellini didn't horse collar tackle somebody, they could have won the Euros.
My mic came undone. Who the fuck is Chiellini? Chiellini?
Uh, yeah, the one who loves ranch on his pasta.
You know, speaking of, what are your thoughts on the blue card? So, have you heard of the blue card?
I've heard of the blue card. This is controversial. My thoughts on this.
Is it okay? Well, we should explain it first. So, blue card would be sending a player off for 10 minutes for a cynical cynical foul, such as the one as Chiellini on Saka in the Euros, or dissent.
There's absolutely no way that would be a blue card. But yes, continue. Sorry.
No. Under the rules of the blue card, that's a cynical tackle. He's been beat. It's Saka one-on-one with the goalie. It would be. It's clearly a cynical foul. He just horse collared him down. I will admit that because we won now and it doesn't matter. But that's for sure a blue card because he only got he got a yellow for it.
Yeah, and a reluctant yellow. The ref was even like digging his pocket, like,
Yeah.
should I? The piece about the blue card that I love, and if I read it correctly, it's supposed to be implemented too when players are just being over the top. So if they're chatting with the ref too much and complaining about stuff, they just get 10 minutes off to the side to cool down. I think that's where the gravy in the blue card is. I don't know if I totally love it, but I think there's some decent applications for that part.
No, I think it's total bullshit. That's not the game of football. That's not. I mean, I'm more of a purist when it comes to this, but that's ridiculous. Sending a player off for 10 minutes. So then, what happens if they do it twice in a row? You know, you got Casemiro there or whatever, or Pepe, Sergio Ramos, whoever. Like, you're gonna make a team play down for 10 minutes, and anytime somebody kind of talks back to you, are we trying to have the refs gotten that sensitive? Pierluigi Collini would never have stood for this. Blue card my ass. He scared the shit out of people.
Yeah, he didn't stand for anything, and it was just his way or the highway, which I love, and I hear what you're saying on that piece where it's like, what are we doing with the game? So I get that. I'm conflicted. I feel like I'm just a regular Sky Sports pundit, just sitting on the fence.
Waiting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then, again, when it plays out and we go back to the tape and you say, oh, hey, James, you said this, I'm going to look like a jerk regardless.
I hope it's not going to be a thing. It sounds awful. And just more, the whole point, this is the whole point of football, is the beautiful game, because it's so simple. Just keep it simple.
No
you don't
stoppages.
need to. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, you're blowing the whistle for a foul, but yeah, it's like, and are they trying to increase goals out of this? Do they want more goals because they're going to have more teams playing down to 10 men?
Yeah. And again, they make the rules, and then the rules are interpreted by the refs. And the refs, as we've seen, even with goal line technology, or as we've seen refs perform, it's like, do they understand the rules and regulations correctly? I think it'll get used and abused for sure. Italy will play England again in the finals, and somehow England will have 10 blue cards, and there'll be just, who's it now? Pickford? Yeah, it's probably Pickford.
The man with little arms.
Be getting shelled. Yeah. Oh, sorry, was that too close to home?
Pickford?
No, I'm saying me chirping Italy as I'm wearing an AC Milan jersey.
Certain rules, yeah. You can't just.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. Oh no, it won't. Well, no, 2026. That'll be the 20th anniversary. So you just wait. You just wait.
Wait for what? Italy winning it again?
Yeah, 2026. It'll be 20 years later. It'll be 20 years later. It'll be 20 years since we've gotten out of the group stage. That's the craziest part. Not even gotten out of the group stage, because we've missed the last two World Cups. 20 years to just see group something beyond the group stage.
Yeah, well, you did win a Euro, like you said. So
yeah, it was really good. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't as fun. It wasn't as meaningful.
It wasn't that classic Italian team that you've seen that just like dominated games, beat Australia.
You look back at it, yeah, Australia, Ukraine. I mean, Germany was a tough match.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was probably the best game in the tournament. That Germany-Italy one. That was so much fun.
I would agree. The only other one I could toss in, because we're talking 06, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Portugal-England game, not bad.
Actually, that was phenomenal. And you know who stood out in that one was Owen Hargreaves. He took it to Cristiano Ronaldo.
He scored in the penalties.
Scored in the pens.
The only one to score. Imagine that. A Canadian. Yeah, that was fun. How did that one work?
That was cool. Yeah, a Calgarian nonetheless.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Calgary.
That one was good. The Ghana-Brazil game was really good. It was back and forth. I mean, you kind of knew who was going to win out of that one, but it was still a lot of fun. You're right. Portugal, England, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we're just going to leave the finals out of this because we'll spend the entirety of the rest of the conversation talking about it.
Well, that's what it is. It's pub chats. We'll do a separate one just on classic matches. Just a separate one on classic matches. With Barthez in net.
Oh, Barthez.
Buffon went the wrong way on every single one of those penalties. I love Buffon. He's probably the greatest goalkeeper of all time. He's better than that Soviet Union guy, I'm pretty sure. I know everybody kind of rates him as number one. I can never remember his name, but I think Buffon is number one. But he was awful at penalties. I mean, atrocious.
He stopped the Trezeguet one.
No. That was off the crossbar and down. He did the same thing that not the same chip, but off the crossbar, and Zidane's went in and Trezeguet's did not.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But then again, Barthez never stopped any of those either.
That was a good penalty.
It was fun.
Yeah, for you, not for me.
Oh, I'll never forget that day.
I will forget that day very quickly.
We should probably get back on track here. We're really Champions League. Okay, yeah. So Arsenal falls to Porto.
Yeah,
Napoli, Barcelona.
I mean, in
the 93rd minute, but the rest of it was kind of cut and dry. PSG beat Sociedad. That's fine. Oh, yeah. The one I think everybody was shocked about was Bayern and Lazio. And I wasn't that surprised because, like I was saying before, an Inter beat Atletico and Napoli draws Barcelona. I think a lot of people sleep on the Italian teams. And I read an interesting stat, they're sneaky good. And I read an interesting stat that both Atletico and Bayern failed to register a shot against either Inter or Lazio. And again, Lazio is good, but they're not. They're not champions of Italy. They're definitely always in the Champions League. They're in that spot. They're top 5 club for sure, usually, or at least lately. Yeah. But they're definitely not the top. And Bayern is sitting. Well, the German league is the German league, but I think that speaks volumes of people just kind of sleeping on the Italians, the Italian league.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And I think to that point too that Bayern should have dusted the floor with Napoli. Napoli's not the same team they used to be.
Lazio. Barcelona is now. Yeah.
Thank you. My apologies. Lazio.
Wait. You're gonna have to edit the shit out of this one.
Oh yeah. Lazio shouldn't have been in that conversation with Bayern. In that game, Bayern should have mopped the floor.
I don't think so.
But I think that's the spark of Italian football.
On paper, that's a good way. That's a good way to describe it. On paper, I think on paper, just based off of the names of the clubs alone, you're probably right. But again, I think on paper, even this season, well, you're right. On paper, okay, you give it to Bayern for sure.
Yeah, but and Lazio has lost a lot of players over the last couple of years, and for them to come back and give Bayern a little fucking jab here and there.
Do you know where they're sitting? Do you know where Lazio and Napoli are sitting currently in the table? Lazio's in 8th.
I'd love to hear.
Lazio's in 8th, and Napoli's in 9th. And
I love that.
yeah, and Bayern's in second and Barcelona's in third. So, you know, as I'm saying is maybe because it was on paper, it's a bit of a shocker, and Bayern does take that red card, which never helps. And they were away from home. No, were they? Where were they? Were they at the?
They were in Lazio.
Yeah, so they're away from home.
In Roma.
So that's fine, right? But again, I think a lot of people sleep on these Italian teams. I think they're a lot better than people give them credit for. Yes, there's a difference between Champions League play and league play. And Bayern might be more focused on the league right now, but maybe they do go in there thinking like, oh, it's just Lazio that we'll run the floor with them. But even Inter and Atletico Madrid, right? I think most people, because they aren't aware of what Inter's doing right now, and they're, as much as because with the jerseys we're wearing, I hate to admit it, but they are just they're something else. They're on a whole other level right now. Yeah. So not even registering a shot just talks to, people will say that just talks to how bad Bayern's been this year and the disorganized, whatever you want to call it, under Tuchel. But I think that does a disservice to Lazio. I mean, Atletico,
100%.
Yeah, Atletico not registering a shot against Inter, that's not shocking to me at all, just the way that they've been playing. Great, and I know Atletico's had their ups and downs. But, yeah, I think some more credit has to go to Lazio to handle that.
And like you said, too, I think it's just the easy way out for when pundits talk about the game, is they're just like, oh, yeah. Right, lost my train.
It's Bayern.
It's Bayern, but it's for them to not register a shot, but for the pundits to then come back and say, oh, like the team's just in shambles right now. In all technicalities, regardless, Bayern's second in the league, like you shared. They should be at least getting a shot on net. You have Kane up front. You have an embarrassment of riches on your entire team. And you're telling me they can't register a shot? I totally agree with what you're saying. They're getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, and I think, there was a period there where Serie A was taking a beating, and it was what the MLS is now, more in a retirement league, and all the old guys were going there. But I think it's kind of going back, and I think people have slept on it for a little, for a while. So going back to like maybe 2016, 2017, I can't remember the year specifically, but there was a year where people were calling it boring, and it was anything but, because the most goals of any league was in Serie A that season. So there's definitely, and the Premier League being the Premier League, obviously it's English speaking. They have the deal with, I think they still have the deal with NBC Sports. So they're still showing in. Sure, right. Basically, the Premier League, what I'm saying is the Premier League is more accessible than any other league, which is, helps with its brand, helps with people saying it's the best league in the world. It depends on how you define best. I always say that if you want to watch the best technical football, watch Bundesliga. If you want to watch fun football, watch the Dutch league. If you want to watch romantic football, it's La Liga and it's Serie A. And it's, and Serie A has, like you said, it's a little bit sparky. It's fun. It's not for everybody, but Serie A is great. And then if you want to watch unpredictability, you watch the Premier League, because anything can happen on any given day in the Prem. And maybe that's what people refer to as being the best, because you just don't really know what's going to happen. And it could be anybody's.
Any given day, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to toss in, just because you didn't mention it, but if you want to watch the next up-and-comers, watch the French League. It doesn't mean it's a great league.
I suppose. You could. There's I mean, a lot of leagues have the up-and-comers, but.
No, yeah. That was very, very judge of you. Not taking it.
I think, and the French league is on the. I saw the rankings of the top leagues. They went 1 to 50 or whatever it was, 1 to 25. The French Ligue 1 was not very high. I think it was still higher than the MLS.
Yeah, it has to be. If not, I'm just gonna call it a day.
Yeah, Serie A I think was number 4 or something like that on it, but yeah, like each league has its own benefits, has its own pros. There's just the accessibility of the Premier League makes it number 1 in the world, and the focus of everybody. But
100%.
when's the last time they really had that much? There was the Liverpool-Tottenham final in Champions League. Everybody always goes to that. Well, what's the strength of each league based on Champions League? Which isn't always the case because it depends on what's happening in the league that year and what the focus of each club is.
100%. And I think it's interesting you mentioned it too, just about the Italian league. If you think about how consistently Italian teams make it into Final 16, into semifinals, I think that's got to show something. Premier League teams, sure, they throw cash at people. They can make it to those rounds, but Italian teams typically, outside of the jerseys we're wearing, they spend some cash and they make it happen. Italian teams have to usually build players, find young players, develop them, and then they become superstars and get sold to the English league.
Whereas before in the 90s, it was the league. It was the top league.
It was the league, yeah.
Every league goes through that. La Liga, I think, was there a little while ago, probably during the dominance of the two best in the world. Plus,
Messi, Ronaldo.
Yeah, you throw an Atletico there. Valencia at the beginning of that, not so much in the middle of it. Sevilla always crushing it in UEFA. La Liga was definitely
Europa
there.
League every
Yeah,
year.
yeah. So the strength of La Liga was pretty good. The Bundesliga for sure. Those years of Dortmund and Bayern were just absolutely crushing it. But what was it? We didn't have a. It was the Chelsea Man U final in 2008 for Champions League, and then we didn't get an All English final again until
Tottenham Liverpool.
Yeah, which was a boring. But you know what? That's just the nature of finals now these days. Non-international finals, I mean. Champions League finals are boring as fuck. The last good one was the German final, Dortmund versus Bayern. The rest have been meh. Or wait, no, there was an Atletico Madrid one in there that was pretty good after that. Yeah. But the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, you need a button for the announcer going Sergio Ramos in the 93rd minute.
Yeah, that's true. That one was brilliant. But finals just they're just not as interesting anymore. And that one wasn't very good, Liverpool-Tottenham.
No, was not very good. And even that Bayern Dortmund one wasn't great, but it was just a moment of magic from Arjen Robben that changed the game. Putting it fast, Weidenfeller.
Yeah, but that one was like 4-3. There was at least some goal scoring in it.
Yeah. A couple of Germans going at it. I get it.
I know. I didn't watch that one just because I didn't care about the Bundesliga, and that was the one to watch.
Yeah.
But
we missed out.
I mean, there's another stat that I saw that was interesting, and it was comparing Dybala and Vinny Jr. So Dybala
for this year?
Yeah, for this year, right?
Lay it on me.
Dybala is what, 30? 31? He's 30.
Yeah,
he's 30. 30, had some injury troubles. 18 matches in Serie A, 11 goals, 6 assists. Vinny Jr. 17 matches in La Liga, 7 goals, 4 assists.
Interesting.
Now, Vinny's 23. Now we're used to 23 being the prime, like you're right in the prime. Ronaldo, Messi. Of course, we got spoiled, and in no way am I comparing Vinny to those guys. I don't think he's that at all. But 23 isn't actually that young for a footballer anymore.
Yeah, especially Brazilian ones,
yeah,
too.
And
they seem to be 16 and the best player on the planet.
Right? But why is Vinny considered better than Dybala right now? I know they play different positions, but one thing to look at is so Roma's in the Europa League, and Dybala's got 0 goals and 0 assists through 5 matches versus Vinny's got 2 goals, 2 assists in 4 matches in the Champions League. So he's outperforming him in Europe, and it's definitely stiffer competition in Europe for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's La Liga right now, it's a lot tighter than people think. But outside of the top 3 clubs, Girona.
Girona.
Yeah, that's an outlier right now. So outside the top 3, because there's really nobody else that makes waves. Versus Serie A, I think a lot of people make waves. like and it's funny because I said that you want to watch unpredictability and you watch the Premier League. Unpredictability game to game or match to match, but league outcome, you pretty much know what's going to happen. You can probably easily pick your top 6, which is interesting to say because match to match, anything can happen. Serie A, I think, is harder to call if you were going to try and predict the outcome of the league of the season.
I love that comment because exactly like you said, how many times do you watch? I won't use Chelsea as an example. You watch like Liverpool get beat by Brighton. And then you see that game and you're like, oh, Liverpool are trash. But then they end up second in the league or first in the league, whatever it is. It's fascinating because, yeah, game to game, so unpredictable. But over the year, it evens out in the.
It does. Like the City Chelsea draw, which was huge. You and I were texting about it. That's a massive result for Liverpool and Arsenal. For City to draw against Chelsea, no, because one game later, City's back at a point behind Liverpool for first.
Yeah, and then Liverpool just dogs it against one team, or everyone else just decides not to show up, and they get a draw or a loss, and it changes everything.
It does.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's oh man, maybe that's unpredictability, but again, right? So you're thinking one thing's gonna happen and something else happens, but then at the end of the season, you're still left with like, oh yeah, City won again.
Yeah, and they're 2 points ahead of Liverpool or 2 points ahead of whoever else. Aston Villa, I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud.
Yeah, they've kind of fallen off. I think I talked about it a little bit earlier this week. It's down to the 3. It's obviously down to Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, right? So Liverpool's on 60, City's on 59, and Arsenal's on 58. They've all played 26, so they've got 12 matches left because they played 38. So, I mean, still anything can happen. Oh, and Villa sitting in 4th at 52.
Yeah.
So, I think it's down to the top 3. They all still have to play each other from what I can remember. So, I think it really happens. It depends on what happens there. I mean, City's got the Manchester Derby this weekend, which I'm excited about. But as a United fan, I'm also not really looking forward to it because Højlund is out and Rashford's looking like Trashford.
Yeah, and it's going to be you as starting striker at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's not going to be much there. I mean, and City's got a bit of an easier, after that United one, they got a bit of an easier schedule. So it's City again. It has to be. Liverpool hasn't looked the same. I honestly don't know how they're at 60. I don't know how they're in first. They haven't looked like Liverpool.
Yeah, they've been quiet with quotations where it is just like, maybe we look at the results of games and we're like, oh, that's so Liverpool. And all of a sudden, yeah, they're still in the mix. It's crazy to see.
Who does Liverpool have next? Oh, yeah. Nottingham. Then they play Sparta in the Europa. But anyway, yeah. So Nottingham, Man City after that. Then United, then Everton. Than Brighton. So Liverpool's got a bit of a tougher run than I think City's schedule. I'm kind of pulling for Arsenal, weirdly, because it's been a while, and I think this is the 20th anniversary I'm telling you, history repeats itself. Arsenal's going to win the league 20 years after the Invincibles. Italy's going to win the World Cup 20 years after their last victory. So that Liverpool City game on March 10th, that's going to be I think that's the deciding factor there. That's the deciding. Whoever wins that game wins the league. I'll put a mortgage payment down on it.
Wow. And to add evidence to what you said, France won the World Cup 20 years after 98.
History repeats itself, especially in this sport.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I thoughts like, Liverpool.
I like what you're saying about Arsenal though, because I think what happened to them last year, they were table toppers the entire year up until the last stretch. You have to think at some point they're yelling at each other in the locker room, going, "Boys, is this going to be 2 years in a row?"
So that's my thinking on it. is that they're still not quite there yet. They're not experienced enough. They're not mature enough. Even though it happened last year, I don't think they've got that late season push. City's been doing it forever, man, under Pep. That late City push. It's reminiscent of the old Fergie United clubs, that it's all about your late season play, and it's about grinding out those 1-0 victories. You know, that's how champions are crowned. Is those things. That's what Leicester did in 15-16. It was they went into Old Trafford and they beat them 1-0, and that's Fergie ball. And I think City's just got more experience with that. I think Liverpool is still figuring out their feet. Salah's a year older, and Mane's gone, and Van Dijk's still strong for them back there. But I still think they're figuring it out. They've got some newer players or some younger players, and Arsenal same thing. Bringing in Declan Rice was great. It's calmed them down in the mid, but they're lacking that killer instinct up front. And I don't think Saka's there yet where he can just put the team on his back and carry them through. I just see them kind of faltering again at the end of the season. So I'm rooting for them, strange as a United fan, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, and I think I love what you said too. Arsenal, young team. They have these moments of, wow, they could win the league. But then you see them in other games and you're like, oh, wow, Saka can't put the ball in the net. Do you think there's a specific piece from Arsenal that they're missing?
One would definitely be a keeper. I don't believe in Ramsdale, and they've got that other guy starting. Oh God, what's his name?
Leno?
No, Leno's not there.
Oh, he's so gone. This is classic Canadian football podcast. Hey, we just have no idea.
Right? Oh my God.
Oh.
This is getting cut.
They just picked him up.
They picked him up this year. They were Raya.
Yeah.
David Raya. I think that's a big one. And man, he's 28. Like he should be. But you watch them and they're not keepers that are going to steal a game for you. Or I don't see them making the big save when needed. A lot of times Arsenal's got a lot of firepower when they want to. Again, they're lacking that killer instinct. So they just usually outscore their problems. Again, Declan Rice was a huge add to them. That's definitely going to go a long way. I think that last piece is maybe a keeper he doesn't have to be a superstar, but just a little bit higher class than Ramsdale or Raya. And if Ramsdale wants to turn it around as he gets a little bit older, then great. Keepers they play forever, so he's got lots of time.
Yeah. I think just talking it out here, something that just popped up was Liverpool. When they had Mignolet, what were they doing? Not a whole lot.
Nope. Mignolet and then Karius.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they got Allison in the mix.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it's like they win the Champions League, they do this, they do that. So that was very Sharpy there.
Oh,
I'm not just trying to pump your tires.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I mean, the thing with I think their mid's pretty set. You got Rice and you got Odegaard, and Odegaard is phenomenal. I think he's everything that he was promised to be. It's almost reminiscent of Ozil. He's like Ozil light, right? Comes from Madrid. He's not really wanted there anymore. Goes to Arsenal and and just turns it on. And he was younger than Ozil, I think, when he went there. So I think they're kind of set there. Again, you just like to see a little bit more from Martinelli, I think, although he's been hurt. Maybe Trossard, Leandro Trossard. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. So it's just, again, I think Saka needs some help. I don't think he can carry them.
No.
And I think they need a keeper.
We're having a conversation too about this is a young team. They just need that one extra piece.
That's all it is.
Which I think is fascinating.
That's all it is. That one extra piece. Arteta needs a little bit more time. Football is gotten so brutal now with not giving managers enough time anymore. It's what have you done for me in the last 5 minutes? Not even lately, right? So back in the day, how long were Wenger and Fergie, and again, Arteta's neither of them. But you never know. Maybe one day, just give these guys some time. I know Wayne Rooney's got a long way to go, but he got axed like that from Birmingham without having any actual effect. Bayern just seems to be flopping through people like no other.
Yeah.
Who's
You could all.
is it? Conte? Conte's going to Bayern? Just off topic. After Tuchel?
Oh, I've heard every name.
I heard Mourinho.
Right now. That would be incredible.
But sorry, just to stay. Yeah, Conte I think is going. Oh, maybe not. Just to stay on topic is like you got to give Arteta a little bit more time. How many? You know, it's been a few seasons, but it's still not a lot. So a little bit more seasoning, right? How long before Klopp won under Liverpool? It wasn't right away. And you could probably compare Arsenal to Liverpool when Klopp came in. Liverpool was a mess. Like, what a joke they were.
Yeah.
And look at what Klopp was able to do. And it's because they stuck it out. I mean, they had some awful. They lost to Sevilla in the UEFA Europa League. Like, Pep did not have. Yeah, and Pep didn't have instant success when he moved to City.
Well, there was 1 year that he didn't get the bankroll.
Yeah, that's true.
About it.
Yeah.
Again, you know my thoughts on Pep. So.
Oh, I know, friggin' Pep. So they got to give him a little bit more time. Again, if I think it's whoever wins that March 10th game, Liverpool City, that's who's being crowned.
So I guess we got to keep our eyes peeled.
There's that thing like City always managed to go on a 21 game unbeaten streak, which I know it's more games than they have left, but they always just seem to find a way right at the end and make it not close and less interesting for them. There goes your unpredictability.
But again, like you shared, that's just the sign of a champion. You win 1-0 games. No one actually cares about the 1-0 game in the small aspect, but over a season, it adds up.
Yeah. Fuckers.
Diamonds and triangles, baby. Diamonds and triangles.
Fundamentally changed how you played FIFA.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So, okay, Liverpool. No, sorry. This weekend.
We talking the EPL?
Yeah, EPL. Because that's, like we said, it's accessible. They speak English. That's all anybody watches. Yeah. Newcastle Wolves.
And they're on the NBC. That's a huge feast, too.
There you go.
It offers a lot to the North American market.
That's how Ted Lasso started. It was a plug. It was a commercial for the first year that they were going to be on NBC Sports.
Yeah, it was the plug where he phoned Jose Mourinho for advice.
Right. Newcastle Wolves. Newcastle. Tottenham Crystal Palace. Tottenham. Nottingham Liverpool. It's in Nottingham.
I don't know. Nottingham's been causing some problems.
They have, but they're sitting 17th right now, 4 points out of relegation.
Yeah, but I think they actually won it. And I learned a fun fact.
Yeah?
Nottingham Forest, their nickname, the Tricky Trees.
The Tricky Trees?
How lame is that?
How the Tricky Trees.
We just lost all of our Nottingham Forest fans.
I like Nottingham. I liked Brian Clough.
Well, yeah, back then they were great. They're European champions. Yeah. I get it. But
they were twice European champions twice.
Yeah,
that was the best chant.
Trees.
That was the best chant when Forest played City and you're champions of Europe. You weren't even born. And the champions of Europe, you won't be alive. Of course, now they are. But fuck.
No,
because goddamn Lukaku can't head in a ball from 2 feet away. Jesus.
Don't get me. Hey, back to it. Don't get me started on Belgians.
That's can't.
Another Belgian.
It's one of those. They perform great until you're in a crunch time, and then they just can't. Or if they're playing Canada.
Yeah, or if they're playing Canada. Yeah, they just all of a sudden show up.
Yeah.
Fulham,
Brighton.
That seems like a Brighton to me.
Well, Fulham took down the almighty Man United last weekend. Absolutely atrocious. I don't. Oh, for United, figure it the fuck out. Figure it the fuck out. How do you go in? You beat Villa and then you drop 2 shitholes to Fulham and Oh God, who was the other one before that?
I'm blanking.
Luton. No, they beat Luton.
Luton.
They beat Villa. They beat Luton.
Yeah, everyone should be.
Yeah, they have to. And then you lose to Fulham.
Yeah.
Oh,
But again, maybe an element of unpredictability. What you were saying.
but it's freaking Fulham. And that Luton game, I watched it. I mean, again, it was away from home, but still, Luton was in it. United took it to him the first 10 minutes, and then after that, you're like, oh, this is dicey. This is dangerous. And it wasn't really until late, because everything happened in the first 15 minutes. So like Luton came after him. It was concerning, especially when you got Onana back there. Man, you watch that Fulham game. Okay, there's mistakes all around, but I have never seen a keeper be more afraid of a ball than Onana. He just doesn't move to it. He doesn't try. He plants his foot, he commits, and then he doesn't actually try and alter his path or anything. He reads the play awful. I don't.
It's like my issues with Hugo Lloris. He's a World Cup winner, sure, but that guy would get caught between the net and the person heading the ball because he just made a terrible decision. Always. That's why he's at Tottenham. Sorry to say.
Well, I know he's gone now. I think he's at LAFC, but
I think he's retired. But
he retired now. Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Harry Maguire with an 89th minute goal. Wasn't even that good. And then, Alex Iwobi.
Harry Maguire!
Yeah, 90 plus 7, and Alex Iwobi takes it in the box, cuts, just stops up, pulls both defenders below past them, and he just goes near side on Onana and just can't you need to have IQ in that position, and you're right, like guys like Lloris and I guess Onana, it's not there.
Onana, yeah. Also, though, this is the second episode we've done together. Mm-hmm. You've never shared you're a Man U fan. It's still boggling my mind.
I've never shared that I was a Man U fan with you?
Never.
We've known each other for 30 years. Like,
yeah, 100%. So that's why, it's still rattling me.
Class of 92, man. Love me some Giggsy, some Becks, yeah. The Neville brothers. I always really liked the Neville brothers, and I never knew why. That's embarrassing to admit. Even Phil, good old Phil.
Wow,
Nicky Butt, and the interesting one, Beck's was, but everybody says Scholes was the best. I think Beckham was better, but the one I did like the least was Paul Scholes.
He was quiet. He put up numbers. He won trophies. I don't think he deserves the recognition, and I'm going to get flack for that.
I don't know. You probably will, yeah, because guys like Ronaldo say how good he was.
Yeah, and Ronaldo even says, he's like, it's the best guy at practice. It's like, Scholes?
Right? Ronaldo and I think Cantona, the French guy, the angry boot to face Frenchman.
You turned a French name into an Italian name.
There's a lot. Cantona.
No, you said Cantona.
Cantona. He said Scholes was the best.
Tony, it's Cantona.
Eric.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Again, I think the best game to watch, well, for me, will be the derby. But I actually think, because I think we all know how that's going to happen. It's going to be City, no doubt. No Højlund. Trashford's playing. Apparently, Harry Maguire is back in the mix. Onana's doing Onana things. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably the most fun one to watch will be Chelsea Brentford.
Yeah.
Actually, Luton Aston Villa might be fun.
Yeah, Chelsea Brentford I don't want to talk about because somehow Brentford's going to put 6 in against us.
Brentford. You got the bottom of the basement here, Burnley and Bournemouth. Basement dwellers, Burnley and Bournemouth.
That might be the one to watch.
Could be. So out of all the leagues, let's say you've got the package that has everything, which there isn't right now. I think Fubo just has the. Oh no, Fubo has the French league, Serie A, and Prem. If you want the Belgian league, you got to go to DAZN. Look at these free plugs.
And I'm not doing that.
You don't want to watch Anderlecht versus Club Brugge?
Yeah, no way. Actually, though, Club Brugge.
Not bad.
I'll give them the pass.
Yeah. Ghent. So let's say you've got the package that's got all of them. Which league are you going to watch?
That's the most hard-hitting question I've ever been asked because we talked a lot about it. The Spanish league, not as exciting as it used to be. French league, I'm biased, so I'll always watch it. So we'll leave that one off the table. Italian league, she's exciting, very tactical. Not my first cup of tea. I'm thinking the Estonian league.
Gotta go. It's funny. I was gonna say Romanian.
At this point, outside of EPL, there's exciting teams that are pushing for the top, but can they last? I love seeing Bayern Leverkusen in Germany taking it to Bayern Munich. That's awesome. But like, I don't think I could this season identify one league that I'm like, wow, this is incredible. English Premier League, predictable. The rest of them, it's like, I don't know if it's exciting enough.
That's true, but
did I just waffle all over the place?
Yeah, you did. That was a pure politician answer. Because I was going to say the Prem is for the first time in a while. It's very exciting. It's the closest it's been since, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, something like that. But I just meant more on like, yes, it's good to qualify it as the leagues as they are right now. Which one are you watching? And I might watch. You're gonna hate me, but I think I'd watch Serie A because I've been watching a good mix of them. I mean, I started betting on stuff again this season. Fucking Sassuolo screwed me.
Sassuolo.
So I've been watching quite a bit more, especially with the nice Fubo app, and Serie A is a lot of fun. It's back to where it was. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, I watched it just because, like you said, tactical, very tactical. Defensive play was really good. But I found a beauty in Serie A and La Liga back then. I still find a beauty in it now. And I think, just the improvisation that can come out of these tactics as well in Serie A. And there is a nature of unpredictability. The second one I would watch is definitely EPL. But if I had a choice between, let's say, Empoli and Bologna versus, we'll pick this one here, Luton versus Aston Villa or Burnley versus Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I'd watch Luton just because they're playing in Luton and I love that stadium. But for the actual game, I might want to watch the Italian one over that. If it's a big game, obviously, I'll tune in for the Manchester Derby with those ones. But if I'm given the option, I'm right now, as it stands, I'm leaning to Serie A. And that'll obviously change over time. But
when, like you mentioned too, like you watch those Champions League results, it's more intriguing. Because now you see that Lazio result, you see Napoli, you're like, what's actually going on? You want to watch that instead of the, oh wow, Barca beat Girona, Barcelona beat this team.
One of the sports stations here on cable, they carry La Liga, and I'll be honest, I've turned it on even for the El Clasico. I'm not interested in La Liga right now. I find myself getting a little bored watching it. I don't know what it is the El Clasico thing might be because we got spoiled literally a decade of Ronaldo, Messi, right? And before that, you had the Galacticos versus Ronaldinho and Deco and Messi and Eto'o, right?
So and to your point too, we had that crazy time period where Jose Mourinho's going around poking people's eyes out too. Like I think exactly like you said, we were spoiled, and now we're watching games going like, where's the rivalry? There's no rivalry.
Oh, it's like we were saying. People are too unless you got Diego Simeone on the bench there. People are too nice. We were talking about that last time, right? It's just the hatred isn't there anymore.
On that note too, I'll go back to an El Clasico during COVID. End of the game, Real Madrid beats Barcelona. And PK's right in the ref's ear, just chirping. And the worst thing that happened in the game was Modric, of all people, walks up to PK while he's chirping to the ref and just says, "Hey, you still talking?" That's where the rivalry's at right now. I want eyes poked out.
I want somebody drop kicked. I want Vieira and Keane fighting on the pitch and in the tunnel. I want, get Vinny Jones back out there.
Yeah, where's the scissor kick? I need more scissor kick.
Who's your pick for EPL to win? I'm going with City.
Arsenal.
You think? Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah, I cannot sit here and say City.
I know it's as the United fan, I'm picking City, and I'm saying I would love it if Arsenal won, but I also definitely can't pick Liverpool. Like either of the three, those are the worst. Those are the worst three options for a United fan. Fuck it, Aston Villa.
Where's Chelsea when you need them?
Right? Fuck off.
Yeah.
I think and Villa's got more of a chance than Spurs ever does. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spurs needs another 2 centuries?
Yeah, they do. We'll do our bets, our Champions League bets, because we said we were going to get a Betway or a 365 or whatever going. So, I mean,
because everyone's doing odds these days. We might as well,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how you get it. You want a chance to redeem yourself? You want to make the picks again?
Oh, I cannot wait to go 0 for 10 again. Let's go.
All right, Bayern Lazio.
Bayern's got it.
It is in Munich.
At home. Yeah, they have to do it. PSG Sociedad, a dream for PSG.
Yeah, they're up 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you got Bayern and PSG advancing. Madrid, Leipzig. They're in Madrid. So
got to be Madrid.
City, Copenhagen. City's already up by, an arm and a leg. Although actually it's 3-1.
I think a cold night in London will just show what Porto's made of. Arsenal will win.
They have to. They've always played a lot better. I mean, they've been good away from home, but they play a lot better in front of their fans. And I think they've, like I said, they've got the goal power when they want to.
Nope.
When they want to. I feel like Odegaard is kind of going to take that team by the scruff of the neck and push them through, at least through this round. But yeah, Barcelona, Napoli. I think Barcelona's got it. I think they're going back to the new camp. I think Napoli has struggled this season. I'm hopeful for Barcelona at home to at least put in one and go through on pens, or
more.
Yeah, or to actually just win outright. Like it's either Barcelona on pens or through on aggregate.
Yeah, Dortmund, PSV, Eindhoven.
Dortmund.
Yeah,
and
then I think this one might be the shakeup for both of us. I think Inter's got it.
Yeah? They're up one. Yeah.
Atletico's not the same beast they once were.
No, they're not. Okay, so our picks are Bayern, PSG, Madrid, City, Arsenal, Barcelona, Dortmund, Inter. Yeah, we're going to go like 4 for 8 here. We'll be 50% for sure.
Yeah, we'll be 50%, and we're going to owe a couple of people a couple of bucks from the sound.
Exactly. All right, good show. We'll see you next week. See you, buddies.
Oh, you beauty! Ronaldo! Unbelievable! Oh, Messi! Penalty! That is a massive decision.